get credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. So I'm going to map out of all the tens and tens and tens of thousands of clients that we've helped through the business credit building process. These are 5 of my best tips for you to successfully be able to build your business credit, one, quickly, meaning get credit as fast as actually possible in the business credit building system, and how you can get the majority of this credit without a personal guarantee. Okay, when you should use personal guarantees, when you shouldn't. We're going to be talking today about how to get business credit regardless of your cash flow or revenue, even as a brand new startup business. We're going to be talking about it regardless of personal credit quality and how to get it without putting an inquiry on your personal credit report if you have good personal credit. And we're going to talk about how to get it unsecured, meaning without collateral. Why does that matter? Because cash flow, credit, and collateral are 3 of the main things lenders want to see. So if you're out there right now trying to get loans or credit lines and you're failing, it's because you more than likely don't have one of the 3 strengths lenders are looking at. Business credit doesn't look at these 3 strengths. Business credit is available for you without any of the requirements that funding usually has, which means, quite simply, you can get it when you can't get funding. It's just that simple. It's the catch-all. And if you are getting funding now, well, business credit's the key to getting more money at better terms, right? We want to get higher approval amounts. We want to get lower interest rates. We want to be able to borrow more money and keep our payments as low as possible. And business credit really is the key to all of that. But there's a lot of fake news. Look, there's a lot of fake news all over these social media channels and stuff that's just absolutely, utterly untrue. And so what it does is it sends you down a path of failure because you're trying to follow steps that will ultimately lead you to a black hole and not get to the result. So how do we shortcut that? That's exactly what we're going to do right now. What I'm going to do now is give you the 5 best tips of how to do this the right way to quickly build business credit and use it to be able to get your business to fund itself, meaning without the personal guarantee, without the personal credit check, without the collateral, without you personally being involved, the business qualifies for it. Then how to use that business credit to get like 90% of the stuff that you actually need to buy to be able to grow your business. So let's dive in. Here are my 5 tips. So the first thing is you really need to start building business credit right now. I get this question a lot, meaning people say, hey, like, when is a good time to build business credit? And my answer is the day you start your business. And here's why. Because you and I both know that to grow your business, you could grow it faster if you have access to capital. You and I both know you're going to be applying for loans. You're going to be applying for credit cards. You're going to be applying for credit cards, credit lines for your business. This is inevitable. And business credit is as important to you getting approved for those things as consumer credit is for you getting approved for consumer financing. The problem is, even if I give you the fastest way to do it, which I'm going to today, then you're still going to you still have a process to execute. And so you don't want to wait till you need money to start executing that process. What you want to do is be proactive, not reactive. And proactive means you start building business credit right away. Right away, you start building business credit. Then you start getting credit right away to fund your business. And you start building this credit profile and score. So then when you want to get the loan or credit line, even next month or 2 months from now you have an established business credit profile and score that helps you get there, okay? Keep in mind that the bigger, the deeper your business credit report is, the more accounts on there, the higher the recommendation of credit is from the credit bureaus. The higher the recommendation of credit from the credit bureaus, the higher your loan amounts, the higher your credit card limits, the higher your credit line limits. So if we want to start getting you a lot of money quickly, we need to start building business credit immediately, because the more accounts we add to that business credit report, the higher the recommended credit from the credit bureaus. That means the higher the loan amounts and credit limits on the revolving credit and the credit lines and the credit loan or the loans that we get. And that's the money that you're actually going to need to grow. So don't wait until you need it to get it. Start building business credit right now and look at the stuff you're spending money on regularly anyways and start using business credit to pay that stuff. There's absolutely no reason for you to use your cash, loans, credit lines, to just be going out there and purchasing computers and office supplies and printers and papers and furniture and vehicles. There's no reason for that. Business credit's designed to do all of that stuff. And if you start letting business credit do that, then what it's going to do is it's going to do the heavy lifting for you, give you a lot more cash to focus on stuff that's not as easy to use business credit for, like scaling Facebook ads, right? Or actually getting more customers in the door. So number one is you need to start immediately. The faster you do it, the higher your limits, the more approvals you're going to get in 30 days, 60 days, then that's going to give you the money to carry this momentum and continue the growth. Number two, use personal guarantees strategically. Okay, here's what I mean by that. There's plenty of money you're going to have to provide a personal guarantee for, like an SBA loan. Okay, you're not going to get an SBA loan unless you provide a PG. But there's also plenty of money you can get without a personal guarantee. Every kind of credit card. For example, every one. Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express cards, cards at every single credit card company, at every single, or at every retailer, at all the fuel stations, Visa, MasterCard, Amex. You can get credit cards for all of that stuff without personal guarantees. So what we want to do is we want to not provide a personal guarantee unless it's absolutely required. So this way I can use my personal guarantee for an SBA loan, but I'm not using it for credit cards. Because if I use it for credit cards, I jeopardize my ability to get the SBA loan. Here's what I mean by that. If I go to get an SBA loan or a long-term loan, maybe it's a term loan, maybe it's a credit line, one of the first things lenders look at is the inquiries on my credit report. They want to see, am I applying for a bunch of credit at other sources? And if I am, then they're less inclined to lend to me. So I don't want to put inquiries on my personal credit report unless I absolutely have to, because the minute I do, I jeopardize my ability to get the loans and credit lines I really want. So I'm never using my personal credit for a business credit card, ever. I don't need to. Business credit and my business credit quality alone and the business credit building process will give me access to all the credit cards I need. Instead, I'm going to protect my personal guarantees, protect my personal credit checks for when I actually need them, which are things like SBA loans that we can't get around. Plenty of other kind of financing, asset-based lending, revenue lending, merchant cash advances. You can get all of that stuff without personal guarantees as well, right? So there's a lot of funding we can get without guarantees. We can get almost every kind of credit card without a guarantee, but we can't get an SBA loan with a guarantee. So what we want to do is strategically use guarantees only when we absolutely have to have them. And we don't want to provide them in all the other cases, which we don't. And by the way, if I look at this proportionally, I would say 80 to 90% of the money that we really need to give for the business, we do not need a guarantee for. And only 10 to 20% we do. So stop using guarantees when you don't need to, like credit cards. Start building business credit and use business credit for that without the guarantees. Then use and protect your guarantees for things where we may need them, like SBA loans. And by the way, 0810 Shua, I have not seen you in the live stream before. Thank you very much for coming and saying hello from YouTube. And Antonio K, King's Life Coaching in Lafayette, Louisiana. Thanks for coming in. By the way, if you're just coming in, give me your company name in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out right here live on the stream, like free publicity. Like thousands and thousands of people see this. So then that way you're able to like get free publicity. So just give me your company name, tell me where you're from, and I'll actually give you a shout out right here on the live stream. So tip number 3, you've got to pay your bills on time and early. Look, in the consumer credit world, I can go 30 days late before it shows on my credit report. Like if I got a credit card bill that's due on the 1st, I could pay it and get it paid before the 30th, and I am not considered late. Business does not work that way. Business, if you are 1 day late, you are 1 day late. We call it DBT, or days beyond terms. So the key to getting good business credit reports, good business credit scores, lower interest rates, higher approval amounts is to make sure that our credit report never reflects that we're late. And if we're 1 day late, we're 1 day late. Instead, we want to pay them early, because the earlier we pay, the higher our business credit scores is. If we look at something like the Paydex score, which is very well known to us business owners, the Paydex score is 100% based on how we pay our bills. My score of 80 means I pay my bills as agreed. A score of 90 means I pay my bills before the discount period. A score of 70 means that I'm paying my bills on average 30 days late. Like I can tell you exactly what your score means and exactly how early or late you are paying. So the key here is to get all of our bills and pay them as soon as we can pay them on time or early. That is going to get us good scores, and your scores directly tie into your interest rates. So if you're getting funding or credit and your interest rates are higher than what you know you deserve, more than likely what's driving your rates high is your business credit scores are not where they need to be. So we need to establish these business credit reports, pay our bills on time or early. The earlier, the better. That gets us good scores. The good scores get us higher approvals and lower interest rates, which, let's be honest, it's what we all want to see. And we've got Prospera Global Enterprise from Houston, Texas in the house. Hey, my thoughts and prayers are with you because I know that a hurricane is like rolling your way there in Houston. And, being in Tampa, I know a thing or two about hurricanes because a couple of them just visited us over the last few weeks. So you stay safe there in Houston. And Ajal, thanks for coming in. Hello, Coach. Thank you for coming in, saying hi from YouTube. And Miss Vicky Tab is in the house from Safe Haven, Indiana. Miss Vicky Tab, I'm from a little town called Elwood, Indiana, which is northeast of about 40 minutes of Indianapolis. So I don't know if you know where that is. Have you ever been there? I haven't been to Safe Haven, but hats off to a fellow Hoosier. And Harrison One Media Group is in the house from Sacramento, California. A lot of new faces in here. So thanks for coming in and saying hi. Okay, so let's recap to where we are. Number one, you got to start building business credit right now, right? Because it takes a little time, and the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to get access to the capital you need. Number two, use personal guarantees strategically. SBA loans require them. Credit cards don't. Stop using guarantees on credit cards because when you do, you ruin your ability to get the SBA loan. We want to limit inquiries as much as we can on our consumer credit so we can use those guarantees for things like we really need them, like SBA loans. Okay, number three, we got to pay our bills on time or early. Business credit scores are primarily driven based on this one factor. Some scores like Paydex are 100% based on this factor. All we need to do to get good scores is pay on time or early. Number four, we need to diversify credit across all major credit reporting agencies. Look, here's the thing. Each credit reporting agency is used primarily by somebody or an industry specifically. So let me give you an example. Experian business credit reports are really popular for credit card issuers. So if you want to get a Visa card, a MasterCard, an Amex, a credit card at Best Buy, at Apple, at Amazon, then you really need to make sure you're building your Experian business credit profile because a lot of those credit card issuers are looking at Experian. If we look at Equifax business credit reports, a lot of lenders really like to leverage Equifax business credit reports. So we want to build credit with Equifax to be able to get more bank loans. We want to build credit with Experian to get more credit cards. Okay, and Dun & Bradstreet's looked by everybody, including insurance companies and those that we actually get contracts with. A lot of us get contracts from companies that look at D&B. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I just got off a meeting, literally walked down to one meeting into this. And the meeting discussion was about two financing sources who will finance our clients. So our payments are normally like $600 a month to start with our main software, our fundability software with coaching to help you with business credit building. This funding source will do it for $250 a month for you, okay? And they give us all of our money right away. So we get our money up front and you can pay over a longer period of time, lower payments. Pretty cool, right? Well, one of the driving factors they're looking at is your business credit reports. So they're pulling multiple different credit reports with Experian and D&B to make their approval decision. We're running into more and more and more of these companies that are making decisions based on business credit quality. So if you only ever build D&B and don't build Equifax and Experian, you're going to have problems when you go to get credit cards and loans. If you only build Experian, you're going to have problems when you go to get loans. You get the idea. If you want to get loans, credit lines, more contracts from clients, better rates on insurance, utilities, rent, everything else you pay, you got to build credit with each of the reporting agencies, at least the three major ones, Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. So when you're building business credit, be aware of which credit reporting agency that the actual credit account is reporting to, and you want to diversify those across the three reporting agencies. That way, you're building business credit with all three major reporting agencies, opening your door to be able to get maximum funding. Okay, and that being said, number five, maximize your payment experiences. So like I said, we just came fresh out of a business credit boot camp last week. If you missed it, email us info@creditsuite.com and say, hey, I missed that boot camp. I talked about it today during the live. Can I get access to the recordings? This week and this week alone, you can actually get access to the recordings of that event. Outside of this, we don't really offer them. And when we do, we sell them for like quite a bit of money. So again, if you want to go to that business credit building challenge that we did last week, it was 2 hours a day for 3 days and a bonus day. Go to info@creditsuite.com. We'll send you the recordings. So during the actual business credit building bootcamp, we talked a lot about this, that when you look at the amount of money you'll get approved for and the amount of approvals you'll get, it gets bigger when your business credit report gets bigger. So we actually looked at a lot of different credit reports. And what we looked at was how the more accounts we add to a business credit reports, the higher the recommendation of credit from the credit bureaus is. And that is a real thing. So what I'm saying is that what we found is this. The more accounts you add to a business credit report, two things happens. Number one, the more other credit sources will approve you. We call this a tiering system. And in tier one, you get starter vendors. And in tier two, you start to get credit at major retailers. And in tier three, you get more credit with retailers and you start to get fuel cards. And in tier four, then you start to get Visa cards, MasterCards, auto financing. So what happens in the tiering system is the more accounts you have, you move up to another tier. When you move up to another tier, all the credit in this tier becomes available. So the key to building business credit is the more accounts you add to a report, the more other credit becomes available for you to get based only on your business credit quality. That's it. Like if you just build your business credit and I start from the beginning, well, then maybe I get a Granger, maybe I get a Uline account. But then in 30 days, now I can start getting Office Depot and then I can start getting Staples, right? Then a month after that, now I'm getting Apple and now I'm getting Best Buy and now I'm getting into Amazon, right? And a month after that, now I'm getting Visa cards, MasterCards, auto financing. So the more accounts I add, the more types of credit and financing become available. So I want to add as many accounts as I can to my business credit reports because that opens up even more credit that I'm able to get. Second reason. The second thing is that our approval amounts get higher and higher and higher and higher the more accounts we add to our business credit reports. Look, I can pull up business credit reports right now that show a $1,000 credit limit and ones that are credit limit recommendation and one that shows a $724,000 credit limit recommendation. You and I both would like to be recommended for $750,000 versus $1,000. So the more accounts we add, the higher the recommendation from the bureaus is, meaning Experian is going to Citibank and saying, hey, give this guy a $10,000 card. Hey, give this girl a $1,000 card. Hey, give this girl a $20,000 credit card. So what we want to do is get high recommendations from the business credit reporting agencies. That's what gives us higher approvals. So we want to get as many accounts reporting to the business credit reporting agencies as we can because that's what gets us more approvals. And it's also what ultimately will give us more access to credit and higher approval amounts. It all comes down to how many accounts you're adding to those business credit reports. And by the way, Business Credit Matrix is in that house from YouTube out of Rockford, Chicago. Thank you very much for coming in and saying hello. Okay, so let's recap. Top 5 of the most powerful tips to build your business credit. Number 1, you have to start right now. Business credit building takes time, and you don't want to wait till you desperately need money to get it. You need to start getting it now, building that business credit report and score. So when you go to get loans and credit lines in January to make sure you have a killer year next year in 2025, you are able to qualify because your business credit is then established. Number 2, use personal guarantees strategically. You're never going to completely get around personal guarantees. Sometimes like SBA loans are required, but you don't have to use them on any kind of credit card, any kind of auto financing, for example. So it starts in a lot of loans like revenue lending, merchant cash advances, asset-based lending. So a lot of lending, a lot of credit cards, if you're building your business credit, you don't need personal guarantees. So let's stop giving a personal guarantee. Let's stop taking accountability and personal ownership of our business debts when we don't have to. By building business credit, we can build all this credit, get all this credit and money without a guarantee and liability and without a credit check, then reserve our credit checks and guarantees only for when they're needed for things like long-term term loans or SBA loans. Number 3, pay your bills on time or early. Your business credit scores are basically completely driven based on this one factor. So if you want to get good scores, which ties into how much money you get and the rates and terms you'll pay, you need to always make sure that you're paying your bills on time or early. And never forget, in the business credit world, you are considered late. If you are 1 day late, you don't get that 30 days to be late like you do with consumer credit. Number 4, you have to diversify across all credit bureaus. Equifax and Experian, you need to be building credit with each one of those 3 things or bureaus. If you don't build credit with all 3, you're going to have problems because credit issuers sometimes look at one or the other. Lenders sometimes look at one or the other. Insurance companies sometimes look at one or the other. So you don't ever want to just build lopsided credit with one bureau. You want to get credit that reports to Equifax, Experian, and DB for the best results. And number 5, you have to add as many accounts to your business credit reports as you can to grow that report. Once you do that, a couple things are going to happen. One, a lot more credit issuers will now approve you just based on the number of accounts you have. And second, your recommendation of credit gets higher and higher and higher and higher, meaning the bureaus are then telling credit issuers and lenders to give you more money. So we want the bureaus to tell lenders and credit issuers to give us more money. That's a key to us getting $5,000 loans, $10,000 loans jumping up to 50, 100, 150, $500,000 plus. It all comes down to the bureaus telling lenders and credit issuers to give us more money. So those are 5 of the best tips I can give you to expedite business credit building and get it without a personal guarantee. And by the way, Business Credit Building Matrix is Thomas G. Ledford Incorporated, partner with Credit Suite. Thanks for coming and saying hi. So hopefully you got some value from this training. If so, hit the like button so we can get it out in the world to show more people. Make sure you subscribe to the channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're tuning in from. And then you can keep an eye on our next training, which we go live at 1 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday Eastern time. And then all of our social channels, we have daily tips, like short 1-minute tips. We've got longer trading videos and everything you need to actually successfully get money to grow your business, and a lot of hacks for an entrepreneur for you to grow in your entrepreneurial journey as well. So don't forget to get out there today if you haven't already and make sure that you vote. Make your voice heard. Whoever it is you're voting for, make sure. We live in a democracy. We live in an amazing place. It gives us the ability to actually choose who our leadership is. So take advantage of that. Make sure you get out there today and vote. Should have my voting sticker on today. Would have been a good idea, but too late for that now. So make sure you get out there today, vote, and keep your eye out for our next training. We talk about more cool ways to get the